Hey y'all! Ooh, ha ha! Hey y'all! Ha ha ha! Come sit on the stoop. I was supposed to hold this down in case something moved. Don't start me. Hey y'all! Come sit on the stoop. Y'all know. Look at all my videos, honey. Y'all can clearly see that I got all kind of camera issues. I was so lucky when I was filming Neighbors that my daughter was a camera person, Matthew was a camera person, Darlene was a camera person, Joan, she didn't hold camera. Oh, I'm just gonna pause this a minute. Ha ha ha! Hey y'all, hey! I think I done did something to the camera. Could be my glasses. Y'all come on the stoop. Come on the stoop. I'll be right back. Come on the stoop. Come on there on the stoop. Come on the stoop. Music for Bed-Sty Brownstone Stories is brought to you by Sean Welsh and his, Tyree Welsh. And together, they're the talented team of the Welsh cousins. Sean has Shadow Magnet. And if you need a tune or a beat, and he does wonderful things to videos, you can go on my Facebook page to see. And I think I'm going to have to hold this some way. I tell you. Hey, yeah, come on the porch, y'all. Stoop. I was in South Carolina, and we had a porch. And I used to always call it the stoop because I want to sit on the stairs. That was stoop. And I took a lot of ridicule until I finally started saying porch. But this is Bed-Stuy Brownstone, and we sit on the stoop. And we talk. So come on, y'all. I'm going to try to do an hour, but I don't know. I did too much yesterday, but I am excited to tell you about TURNT Out. I'm excited. Hold on a second, y'all. Remember when the thing was going to drop and I grabbed it with my hands? I may have done some, that cleared it up a little bit right away. Ooh. Never know, y'all. Yes. Thank you. Welcome back to Bed-Stuy Brownstone Stories. I was thinking about it all day, what to talk to y'all about. It's just so much. But first, for those who are just coming through, I, as a young 20-something, 22, 23, 21-year-old living in Bed-Stuy in the early 80s, 79, 80, I met a transgender woman who literally changed my whole life and how I viewed myself as a woman in a positive way. I met Martin. I have to call him Martin because that's this during the 80s. It's a whole different time now. I know a few of y'all rag me, I don't use gender. I'm not gender fluid. And I'm not fluid at a lot of things. Okay? I'm not fluid. I'm working on it. I know the they, thems. But when I talk to Martin, and when I talk about Martin, just like with us, she and I, when we were alone, he and I, when we were around company. I don't know what to tell you. He always was a woman, but for the outside, we just went along. But that's not what I'm talking about. I was thinking about the questions I used to ask Martin as a young mother who had already married, that's a long story, married a West African and just go to 90 Day Fiance and work everything else out. But what Martin taught me was the love of woman. I didn't have that. I came from the South. And that's what I want to bring it around to. I don't understand. I remember I'm a RuPaul fanatic. Fan is an understatement. I love the drag race. I loved Drag University. I loved when he brought regular women in, like me, and dolled us up. It was fun. It was exciting. I was all into it. I think we had 2 seasons, and that was it. That should still be on now. There wasn't nothing wrong with that. Martin did it with me. Now I got it. I just came. I went down south to live with my Baptist grandmother. My grandfather was a deacon in the Baptist church, and she was a deaconess in the Baptist church. So church was everything. Now I just left New York. My mother didn't raise us like that. I didn't know it was a crime and a sin to be a woman. I had no idea. My mother didn't teach me that. It wasn't until what I knew was a crime and sin to be a woman is when I first went to live with my sperm donor, who is Elijah Muhammad Muslim, and regularly slapped around his wife and anybody in the house he felt like it because all is woke. He rules the rules. He does what he wants. He had 2 older girls, 3 older girls, including me, and the 2 boys were the youngest. And guess what? The 2 older girls were toilet water. Toilet water. And the boys were everything. The girls were toilet water, but that's according to the Islamic religion. So that was my first inkling that there was something wrong with me, being a woman. I had no idea. My mother never said, she said, don't let no man put a hand on you. You protect yourself. She said, you go to school, you get a job. She never said, you know what, I want to tell you something. You're really at a disadvantage. She left Virginia to come to New York for a better life. So even in that, I saw the strength in her. So I didn't know. My aunts, they all left. They didn't come up with husbands and all that kind of stuff. They left. They came up. They got a car, got a boyfriend, got a car, and next thing they know, they was at their father's house in Harlem. So she didn't raise me that there's something wrong being a woman. But when I went to stay with my sperm donor, that was my first inkling. See, he brought me took me from my aunt in Harlem, that's another long story, to stay with him. And because he had brought me to stay with him, I was supposed to be a help to his wife. Now, here's the thing also. My mother ain't raised me to be no housekeeper. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. We had somebody used to come and do the house work. We used to help her. She used to give us money, but we we didn't do that. And he went around there slashing, beating, curtains, and punching everybody. My brother says he had it rough, but so I didn't know. That was my first inkling that being a woman, ooh, eek, eek. And then when I went down south to my grandmother and to learn the Baptist way and that whole thing, the first thing you have to learn is that a woman ain't nothing. She is but a rib bone, literally a rib bone of a man. She has no say. My two aunts, the only two girls that survived that my grandmother had, and she said she had 13 kids. But what? Two boys and two girls survived. My numbers could be wrong, but that's from what I remember. And I was like, so I got down there and it was like, no, you're nothing. You're a sex object. We had a pedophile Reverend Barr. Nobody told me about him. It was nothing for a man to walk by and rub your ass or touch your titty in church. It was nothing. It was nothing. It was nothing at home either. Because you're basically taught that is your only function. And it's also how you're controlled and suppressed as a woman. Telling you, I was shocked, honey. I was kicking, punching, beating asses, and I'm telling you, so by the time I fought my way out of that cult, I'm telling you, total cult, and you could tell how they treat women. You were nothing. Nothing. They can sit in church and call you whores all morning. And everybody sit there, shake their head. You know, women's is the hoes of the world. And everybody say, yeah, they hoes, they hoes. I tell you. If a woman get out of hand, God wants you to slap her around. He gives you permission to. Yep, he gives you permission to. He can slap her around with you. She don't know nothing. That's the attitude. That was the sense. And my aunt, the one who had the roughest time, the one who had 8 kids and got beat regularly by a husband, she reminds me of Their Eyes Are Watching God, my Aunt Anna Mae, where that light-skinned city slicker came through South Carolina, or she met somewhere, I think in South Carolina, because they don't never tell the whole story. And she's in Philadelphia getting her ass whipping and spitting out kids. And according to my uncle's wife, he sent for her and 8 kids to come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to Charleston, South Carolina on a Greyhound bus. I can't imagine being on a Greyhound bus with 8 kids. And I think the youngest one was in her lap. But she deserved it because it was something that she did. It was something that she did. And then my Aunt Minnie, she's another one. Beautiful. I'm telling you, beautiful, beautiful. Like cookie face, and my beautiful husband beat her like she was a rag doll. And then finally, they'll never tell you what was the straw that broke the camel's back. But finally, they separated. But it was condoned. But my aunt, she was so pissed. You know that they tell that story all the time about the pastor that comes to the house to eat dinner, and you got to serve him. I lived that. I lived that. My aunt hated it. She hated it. Of course, we women would be servers. We did the serving. We did the cooking. We did the cleaning, because if you're not a good clean cook or whatever, you can't get a man. You can't take care of a man. I was like, wow, they don't know how to take care of themselves. But from what I see, they don't. And even though women are now raising men, they still ain't raising them to do nothing. They don't even know how to pick up the clothes up. I lived in Mount Vernon, and if they rolled a joint, a blunt, or had a beer, wherever they were sitting, they left it. It never entered their mind to clean up behind them. So you know they don't do it at home. But they don't have to, because that's what women's for. The mother cleans up behind them. The mother picks up their clothes off the floor. And then they meet a girl. And then she does it. And if she doesn't, you just meet up. So then I find myself that's to me, that's cults. When you suppress a woman in religious groups, when your whole purpose is to suppress women, you're going to have a baby. No birth control pills for you. Why? Because you're going to have babies for men. Okay, fine. But the man don't have to stay and take care of him. Oh, he don't. He don't have to pay child support. Oh, he doesn't. But you just hold up and you make the babies. Especially for an African American cultures, making them babies and taking care of them. You know you ain't gonna hire my husband or my man because you're racist. And if you hire him, you're gonna treat him like crap because you're racist. That's what you do. If you hear anything, it's microwave. So that's how it is. But you still have the babies. You still make the babies. And if you notice, when President Obama put in the healthcare and like help birth control and stuff like that, the biggest cults came out. The biggest men came out. The biggest men came out against it. And the biggest, most suppressed women came out against it. I had 15 kids and couldn't catch my breath and tore my body up. You gonna have 15 kids too. I had to take a beating and dragged and hair pulled and everything. You can take it too. I remember looking at Dr. Phil, and it was about wife abuse. And then the guy said, they said, why do you keep hitting her? Why? And he said, because she kept getting. This is right. That's what the religious teach you. That's what you're taught in religion. So there I was. That's my background. Coming from that whole culty type situation. And then I meet Martin. And it's so strange because he loved being a woman. She was inside. She was in his hairstyle or her hairstyle. I'm still working on it. I just realized why I like trans people. So give me a chance. I had to look 40 years to see why am I so connected to the community, just to remember that for 5 years, 5 to 6 years of my young life, I was tutelaged by a transgender woman. Okay? I learned how to be a woman, happy to be a woman, from a transgender woman. So give me a minute. So that's the Bed-Stuy Brownstone story part of it. It's how I got introduced to the community. I didn't like I said, I'd sit on the porch with my daughter and Martin would wave and I'd wave back and then he would come over or I would sit with Vanessa. Remember I told y'all I just realized that Funky Neva ain't the only one that had a Nessa, because Nessa used to come and sit down on the stoop with me. And then Martin would walk by and Nessa would wave because Nessa was on the block longer than me. She had lived there longer than I did. She'd wave at Martin, Martin waved back slowly. You know how that works. And the next thing you know, we just chilling. But he saw me, and the first I know, he said, "You have good cheekbones." And ain't nobody had ever told me I had good, nice. And you said, "Oh yeah, you were married." No, I did that the stupid thing in the world. I married a man like my sperm donor. Women to him were nothing, but I was so used to it. And initially they treat you good and they give you flowers and you say roses, and the minute I went to the city hall and said I do, that was all over. It was totally all over with, because women to him, he objectified them. That's how he was raised. He had a Muslim background or a Shanti, but just total disrespect for women. Stupid, don't mean nothing. Just some to boink. So I didn't know when I got there. I'm sitting there with Martin, and then he said, "You got great cheekbones. Don't you? If you could use some blush." And I was like, "Blush?" And then I didn't wear any lipstick or anything like that. I didn't even put mascara on. I had always been told how ugly I was, so no matter how much makeup you put on, it don't do nothing to help you when you're ugly, because that's how they break you down in the cults and stuff. So that's how I met Martin. And that's what brought me into the community and the trans world. And yes, then I had a boss who was in the trans community. So that's the Bed-Stuy Brownstone part of it, how I got in the community. So now I'm going to talk about the other half. So I'll be in sync with the guidelines for YouTube. Okay. Now, I want to talk about TURNT out. TURNT out. TURNT out. The most disparaging thing to me about, and the only disparaging thing for me for TURNT out, is the fact that TURNT, I mean, there is noise all around me. I can't believe it. I thought this would be a quiet time. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can close this window. I tell you. When I'm not doing a live, this house is so quiet. I gotta put music on. But the minute I go live, house lights up. The disparaging thing about Turned Up for me is Fox Soul. Every time Fox Soul flashed in front of me, it was like a dagger in my heart. I kept seeing that orange thing. I kept seeing that whole GOP nasty cult, disgusting folks. Every time Fox came up, I felt like I was being attacked. So that's my issue. I did notice that. Here we go. I did notice that they have a Tubi, and I'll be looking at it next Tuesday at 8 o'clock on Tubi. So that's the only thing. Other than that, very happy. So let me see. I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't know how much I miss the Queen Supreme Court. I'm telling you something. I was a freaking mental patient. 10 o'clock on Mondays, I was there. Then when it changed to 9 and they went back, Kaya and Maddie went back and forth, I'm telling you, I was there. So when I saw Cherry, oh my God, I was so happy. I remember Cherry from the Queen Supreme Court. I remembered her. I can't even tell you why I was so happy. But I was so happy to see her. I was like, Cherry. And of course, I talked to my daughter about Cherry. And she said, yeah, Cherry's on Bigo. Because my daughter streams over at Bigo. She says, I'll talk about how people don't like her, people hate her, or whatever. She don't like women. Oh, but that's not my relationship with her. I don't care. She loves being a woman. She loves it. I look at her and I see she loves it. Like I look at Maddie and I see she loves it. And for me, I can overlook everything. Yeah, she had to fight her way through because women do. Oh man, I meant to make this point. Let me just roll back over here a minute to Bed-Sty story and I'll come back to Turned Out. I don't understand why the community, especially the African American community, wants to get so intent on getting into these cults. These cults, I just forgot to finish telling you, they don't treat women good. They don't want you there. They don't like women. You're not going to be bowed down, cowed down like we are. You are not. I can tell you, no trans woman is going to sit in a church service and be called all kind of hoes, loose women, spreading legs, wide. They're not going to sit there and take that because that's an insult to them as a woman. But we biological women, we're trained to sit there and take it. We're trained to sit there when the pastor say, Solomon Gomorrah, y'all all out there out of control, don't have no control over your bodies. We all sit there and shake our head and we say, you're right, Pastor. We don't have any control over body. You gotta have a man to help you and take care of your body. And we all sit there, the biological women, and we say, yeah, but trans women ain't gonna sit there and do that because they know how wonderful it is to be a woman. So I just want to get that out. I just wish they would stop. I remember in RuPaul's drag race. Oh gosh, I knew her name, but she said, "Hello." Always so busy, always trying to be a cult. Do your own cult if that's the case. If you want to, so desperate to be in a cult. But I can tell you, cults. You can tell you in a cult, women have no control of their body. Don't you realize? And that's how I talk to Martin. And that's how I would say to Martin, "Why you want to be a woman? choices inside me. And I'm happy. And that changed my whole life. My whole life. It sent me on the road to being happy to be a woman. But anyway, let me get back to turn time. So it was good seeing Cherry. It was so good seeing her. And it made me think of the Queen Supreme Court. It made me think of the best part about the Queen Supreme Court sometimes was them getting prepared for the show, where you sitting in and you have the queens, you have the drag queens, and everybody, and they're sitting there and they're eating and they're talking and they're having such a good time getting ready. And I loved that. I loved that. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. I know, but I know Maddie went on, but I'm just saying I love that part. And then it turned out when I saw Miss Sophia, I was so happy. I was like, Miss Sophia! Oh my God, Miss Sophia! Miss Sophia. Well, she had me laughing because Miss Sophia is a drag queen. She's not a trans woman. She's a drag queen. Gay boy. Gay man. That once she's in drag. But her drag is not, I want to use the word ostentatious, but I don't even know if I'm using that correctly, like really out there. She's just, her drag is a regular woman. So I like having Miss Sophia, and I like the way they talked about the new stuff. What did they say? Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. I got the wrong notes. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ooh, there we go. Because I had my pad there, but I was doing notes because I got to write this podcast. So I was like, okay, where can I put notes? And then I'm doing for Maddie. And then I said, here we are. Yes. Oh, this was Monday, Maddie. Bummer. Okay. This was Monday's notes. Not my show notes. Anyway, I liked it. I loved the fashion part where Maddie changed. I love that red dress. I love how she showed her body. Proud of it. Own it. Just like all we women should do. Own it. Excuse me. So that was perfect. Oh yes, I said I love the fashion. Yep. Yeah. See, that barbershop part is very base. Very base. Very, very base. To me, a lot of folks that hang around the barbershop are down low. So I didn't understand that segment where you went to talk to them. I guess you want controversy, but I don't know. I didn't get anything from that segment. That was a good try, but I was like, a barbershop? Maddie already told us that they ain't gonna say it out loud. They're not gonna say it out loud. They're not gonna tell the truth. The ones that kill the trans girls are the ones that hang out in the barber shop. So I couldn't understand why that part. I knew they wasn't going to say nothing positive, and they didn't. But I didn't understand. I didn't understand why that was. Yeah, the show. Um, I liked it. Um, I like the car part. I saw she worked that in. That was the part with Cherry. But I, it's such a slate. You can just put so much, into it. So here's my thing. I wish you could put in a segment. I know you did the car thing with Cherry, but I wish you would put more. I know we're just starting, and I know you had that real girl. I don't know who she is. Oh gosh, you gave all her qualifications um for her, and I was like, oh, that's who she is. But I didn't find her to be too interesting, and I guess I should have wrote it down. But see, I wasn't interested, so I didn't write it down. I think so, but with that part, I mean, it was pretty good. I guess. And Miss Sophia did the news section, which was good, community news. And I liked it. I know next every you try something new all the time. You try something different, but you have some. You have to find out if you have something. And matter you have something. You really do. I'm just going to look at you on Tubi. That was my problem. And I apologize for that, but that was my issue. I can't do the YouTube one. So I'm gonna go over there and get it off Tubi, which is really, I mean, like I said, I love the show. I can't wait to Tuesday again to see it, see you in fashion, to see what you're gonna bring up, what new ideas, because man, it's a clean slate. Do whatever you want to do, babe. Do whatever you want to do. Show the girls proud. Bring them through. Bring them through. That's one thing I loved about the Queen Supreme Court. Everybody was included. Include everybody, Maddie, on your turnout. Okay, and Miss Sophia was good, but I hope y'all really break down into some real hard issues here, because folks is out of control. They out of control with women. The stats, go back for the stats of how women is. They say, oh, black women. Oh, then that recorded how many black women are being killed, and the indigenous women. Whew, child, they plucking them off like ducks out the sky. And trans women, yes sir, Bob. Yes sir, and they don't even report y'all. They just throw it into a man's name and let it keep pushing. We need to talk about that. We need to talk, and you can use your show also to talk about how we're the same. Because I'm going to tell you something from Martin. Martin was no different from me. That exterior that he had to work on, that we had to stuff the bras with, and all that stuff, that exterior. But I connected woman to woman, just like with Maddie. So connect with us woman to woman, not against one another. Throw out some hints to protect us, because that's the issue African American women are having now, and trans all African American women and trans women are having now with men. You're supposed to be protecting us, but y'all are beating and killing us. You gotta stop. You got to stop. So I'd like that talk about. And uh I don't know. I wrote down while I was looking at it, I was like, Boston Legal, that trans woman. You remember that character that they had on there who went became a woman? She was a yeah, it was an actor. But for some reason as I was looking at Maddie, I thought about that. But it's so many things that she could do. And also, I know you're a talk show and stuff like that, but a little sketch comedy ain't bad. And for some reason, as I kept looking at it, I don't know, Flame Monroe is in my head the hottest drag queen. Flame Monroe is beautiful. And Spillet Boy, which is treasure. I know they're drag queens, but they are beautiful, like Bob the drag queen. Beautiful. I mean, just beautiful. Just beautiful. So I as I'm going with the show, I look forward to seeing uh more oh, the winners of RuPaul's Drag Race. Oh, Maddie, if you can get them in and do an interview with them, I would be right there. I'ma tell you something. Them folks go through a lot. I want to know the background. I want to know because what don't they stay in RuPaul's Drag Race? Don't they like stay there like 6 weeks or more, or something like that? And and the cat fights, but I want to hear all the background stuff. Now, I fell off RuPaul because it was getting a little too catty, but I loved it when they had the alcohol sponsors. And after the race, they were sitting in the back. You know, the girls that were saved would be in the back talking and having a drink. I love that part because I got a chance to see what was going on. So if Maddie could bring in just to do a little interviews with the girls from, I mean, RuPaul's what, 15th, 16th, 17th season? There's a lot of, you got 17 queens, you know, and pulling some really women that have, what came into my mind was Miss Americas or pageant winners or women and stuff, different things like that, because that's the beauty that I see trans women are equal to. I see that. So that would be great for the show. Um, really good for the show. Um, your interviewer, Maddie's interviewing skills, I love. So I'd like to see more of that. Um, now I didn't look at Maddie this week after the Tuesday show because I didn't want to influence my show. This is going from me looking at the show and what I'm telling y'all that what I got from it. Um, excellent. I'll be looking at it on Tubi next week, and I'm sure I'll have a totally different experience and more enriched experience because every time that thing flashed, and don't get me wrong, FOX Soul is got some program that I saw that if I could just get through not seeing FOX, I could be there. I could stay there for hours. I just in that little time that I was on with Maddie, I saw so many good shows that is on FOX Soul. But okay, I gotta do something to somebody. I gotta block somebody or oh wow. Oh I can't. I think that's a spammy, but I can't do anything to it. So yeah. So that would have been excellent. But I know she's gonna have a lot of things, a lot more stuff that, you know, she's gonna be talking about. I got this thing here that won't go away. All right, it is what it is. I hope it's not blocking y'all. I have to come around it. So yeah, I know I look forward to the episode on Tubi. I look going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a good time with it, and it has a lot of possibilities, and I'm very proud of Maddie. I am very proud of Maddie, Oliver Twist. I saw Chi Chi down in the comments when I was posting. Saw Chi Chi, the infamous Chi Chi. Real good time with the show. Excuse me, like I said, I will be there on Tuesday. Touche, Maddie. Encore. Touche. And I know, I hope they let you use your creative freedom because if they let you use your all that talent that you have boxed up inside of you, if they allow you to roam free with that, then girl, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. So what else did I? Yeah, I said sketch comedy. Sketch comedy is always good. Sketch comedy, trans women always evolving. What are the queens from the queen? Yes. What's the queen from the Queen Supreme Court doing? You had a lot of people who was doing stuff that used to come through there for the Queen Supreme Court. We haven't heard from. Is there any way you can put on TURNT out what they are up to? Because I miss them. I saw them every week, and I have not seen them. Oh, I forgot the coronavirus. Oh, boy. I haven't seen them since the coronavirus. But I'm sure you could do a satellite hookup. Everybody ain't got to come to the studio. I don't know how everybody's doing. I mean, I'm just so happy you have this show, and I couldn't be prouder. I know Miss Mary's proud. My daughter told me Miss Mary did a video, but I didn't watch the video. I didn't even want it to influence how, my review of it. Excellent. Oliver Twist has something. Y'all have something. Just keep creative. Just keep creating. Just keep creating. Don't look at the naysayers and the can'ts and the just keep creating, Maddie, like I'm doing. Matter of fact, I got to get off here because I'm writing a podcast. Don't start me. And of course, you catch me every morning on my YouTube channel right here at 7 a.m. when I do a virtual walk for a half hour. I don't want to forget nothing other than tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Tubi. Can't say that other word. I can't. Every time I say it, even in my head, I see this orange thing. It pops in my head. And then this whole GOP thing that doesn't want me to advance in life. And talk about hate women. What about they hate trans? If they hate you, trust me, they hate us first. That's another thing I like to get through to the trans girl. Trust me, they hate you. They hate us worse. Men can screw women they hate. No, they do it all the time. So, stop trying to fit in. You're already in. You got a lane. The whole community has a lane. Stop trying to be in these cults. You're not going to be in them. I'm not. They don't like me. I'm old. They can't feel my breasts. They can't do anything. They can't screw me. I'm of nothing to them other than the fact that I can get them money. And I'm not running to them. I know only thing that I can give them now because I'm old is money. They don't want me there. Cults want young people, young women. They want nice, firm breasts to touch and the pedophile and all that kind of stuff. Stop trying to be in it. I don't even want to be in it. Women don't need to be in there. Anywho, great show. Turned down. Tuesday, 8 o'clock on Tubi. Turned down. Ha ha! Yes. Thank y'all so much for coming through. Next week, I'll be back to Maddie in the morning, to Bed-Stuy, Brownstone stories, and back to Maddie in the morning. I just want to show my support for Turned Out, but I like Maddie in the morning, so I'm going to keep my reviews there. More informative and stuff. Yeah, thank you. So I'll see y'all on Sunday, where we just have, Sunday we just talk about me and Martin. Me and my trans Martin. Maybe I'll tell you this story about how he put on my eyelashes. The first time he outlined my lip. You know how you put the lipstick on and then you take the eyebrow pencil and you do it around. And anyway, I'll tell you about it on Sunday. Hey, thanks for coming on the stoop. Turned out, 8 p.m. Tuesday on Tubi. Tubi-dooby. Thanks for coming through. See you Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your week.